Yeah, that'll be $23.18. What?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Stuff we just posted to the Vigil looks good and everything.
Alright, we're trying to find out who these cars belong to.
I mean, this is such a beautiful place.
Hello everyone. I'm so happy to see such a large gathering today. Over the last 74 days, I have remained busy. I have pretended everything is well, like I hold everything so well together, but I don't. And sometimes after a long week, I just think, at least on Sunday, I'm gonna go to the vigils. And hopefully there are more people there. And this alone has brought me the hope to know that even if I don't know what my options are, I will find a way.
You will.
And week after week, I see the crowds gathering and the numbers growing. And this is what being American is.
Yes.
This is democracy. Yes. This is us exercising our rights.
Yes.
I would have never imagined that I would be here, that people would consider me an important part of these vigils, because when I came here the first time, I was absolutely broken. I was lost. I had no idea what was coming. But one thing I knew was that I was scared and I had no hope. And week after week, I've came here and I felt stronger. I feel love, I feel empathy, compassion from absolute strangers. Some of the people that I'm the closest to don't understand what I'm going through, what I'm feeling, but I come here and I am understood. I know that I'm not alone, that there is strength in numbers. And with everything going on in this country, we need to know that nobody is safe under ICE.
That's right.
We are not safe under ICE.
That's right.
Nobody is safe, citizen or not. So we need to come together, because there are more of us than there are of them. It doesn't matter how much they're recruiting. There are more of us than there are of them. So we need to come together. We need to stand together. We need to speak up for those who can't. And I'm doing this because I love my dad. And when he's free, he's going to see. He's going to know how far I'm willing to go for him. So thank you, everyone. I love everyone here. I love what this represents, what this means to me. So thank you to everyone who is here.
Lo sucedido con René Good es solo una punta del iceberg que ya no pueden esconder. My name is Janet Soto. I'm here because I'm the fiancé of Dennis Cabrera Rodriguez. He's at Chrome Detention Centers, and he's also diabetic type 1. ICE denied 3 parole requests. The last one, they denied while he was in the emergency room for second time. Also, Dennis Cabrera, it was prosecuting Cuba by the dictatorship, just because he was taking photos and showing the reality of the Cuban on the streets. And they take everything from him, their camera, their photos, everything, computer. They close his Instagram accounts, and they show him a picture of his daughter and they say to him, disappear or you will be beside Luis Manuel Otero Alcántara, Michael Osorbo, and all the others that are already political prisoners in Cuba. All that happened during the July 11th in Cuba manifestations, and all the peoples involved are or in jail in Cuba or exiliados in here in the United States or other countries, Europe. Everyone just tried to save their life, as well as Dennis, and that's why he came to Miami. And he was always a hardworking man. This is not fair. What they are doing to him is just not fair. It's not fair with him as a hardworking person, a good person, and as him as part of the diaspora, the exiliados cubanos. This is just not fair.
About how long ago was he taken? When was he taken, and how long has he been detained for?
He have been more than 2 months already. Basically, he have had two emergency visits in 2 months. Well, he never had any emergency visit before about his diabetic type 1.
How has the communication been with him? How did you find out that he was taken, and have you been able to talk to him regularly?
Well, since the first moment I took him, I lose contact for about 5 days because the first contact they have with him, he get a risk of heart attack, and they took him to the hospital, but they didn't notify anything to me. So I was crazy looking for him till I reached him. I'm spending so much money. This is for not just for me, for all the families that are going through this. It's a heavy waste economically, emotionally. It's a big responsibility that you need to face during you stay strong for them, because in that detention centers, they are doing everything to make them decide to auto deportation. So,
What has he said are the conditions inside? What is it like?
Medical negligence is everyday thing, not just for him. There is old people that have more than 70 years old, people with heart disease. There is just recently they took a hepatitis A a person with that had a contagious hepatitis, and they put it in the same pot with everyone. They don't give him alcohol. They don't have any sanitary anything, and it's everything. Everything is wrong. They took him his glasses, and they haven't given it to him back. They never give him the shoes for diabetic persons, and he started having problems in one of his fingers. And in that moment, everyone noticed that he need those, and they give it to him like 2 days ago. But he was like a month without them, and he get those complications because everything is wrong there. Everything is wrong. There, he said that it's a couple of doctors that the high doctors that see him like every 2 weeks, and some of them ask him, "How long you will be here? Because you're really bad, but we can't do anything." And the nurses that put the insulin sometimes just change the numbers, because if he have the sugar over 400, they need to take him to the another place there that is like more kind of the emergency inside of there. And they just, when he have 425, for example, they change. And he just realized recently that they changed the numbers not
so
to take
don't
him.
have to send
Exactly,
right.
Exactly. And just save time or no work. I don't know. But it's the life of a person. It's the life of a person.
What would you say to members of the community who are pretending what's happening now is not happening and are turning away?
People, this never happened before in this country, but it happened in other countries. And never ends well. Your silence will at the end will harm you or harm someone in your family, and you will say, "Oh my God, this was real." I have so much to say about that. I have too much to say. I'm part of the Cuban community of Miami, and it's really sad to see. It's really sad to see how they, ¿cómo tú dices eso? Justify. They're justifying this. They say no because they commit crimes. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? There is people with 80 years old that they pay with the justice 30, 40 years ago. They have kids here, grandkids here, house, business. They have been all their life paying taxes and never committed a crime. And they took them from their houses and they basically killed them because the most people are dying here are people like older people dying from heart diseases. This is not good, and it's not happening just here in this corner. It's happening in all the United States.
And I think that's something that everybody needs to hear right now. And I appreciate your resilience and your willingness to come out here and speak. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you for hearing me.
Of course.
I set everything up for the day, and I'm like, sayonara, suckers. Like, wow. I have things to do.
Hey.
And they like see me, and they're like, I get back home, I change, and then they're like, if I have time to go back home, and then they're like, you go, you do this every week, and they're like, well, don't you need to have time off? And I'm like, no, the world is coming to shit. Like, I don't need time off. I'm like,
only everyone has that attitude.
That too. Yeah.
Terrorists don't sleep.
Yeah. That's very true.
But like they're kind of like Jeremiah today told me, Mom, like, hey, I want to go with you. And Sadi was like, Jeremiah wants to come with me, and she was crying, and like he saw his mom crying, and he was like, and he goes, yeah, like I didn't know this was serious. Like, I know you guys are upset, but like there's a lot of people here, and I'm like, yeah, Jeremiah, it's a lot bigger than just us. Like,
right.
I was like, you get to see us be sad, but you don't understand how this really affects.
But setting that example, that's how it spreads. That's how it happens. Bringing people in and hearing testimony like that. It affects people on a deep personal level than just seeing things through a phone screen or hearing about it, when it's not in your periphery.
It was really, I talked to Janet afterwards as well. Like, Janet?
Yeah.
Yeah, Janet. Like, it's really, I think, boring. Just Cuban American over here, you know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, unless we're really good at only doing things that other Cubans also kind of like are cool with it. Not for its own moral imperative, but you need the approval of, for whatever reason, Mami Papi, or our friends or whoever. So, the hard part as well is that group mindset can be a blessing and a curse, just depending on how it's used.
Oh, yeah.
And right now, it's not exactly a winning story.
Yeah.
To be on the right side of history. So,
but you kind of have to be that leader, within your friend. Because I have a lot of people. I know a lot of people who are apathetic or have been apathetic, and having many conversations with them. At least the people who are not outright dismissive and very rude about it and everything.
That's certainly us. It's a tough one because we think that there's like a specific lore. If you're a good guy or if you're a bad guy, we've already done this, so we know what the characters are on the board, we know how it's supposed to go, we know who's supposed to be our ally, who's supposed to be our enemy, and the truth is that it's an enemy by a different face. We haven't, as a group, all figured it out yet, and so it's slow, and no one wants to admit that no one wants to take the L.
Yeah.
No one wants to admit that they're wrong, if they've maybe gotten the wrong story. We've also done a really good job of enforcing the repercussions of switching sides.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. Her stories, I mean, everyone's was, but like her story was really impactful for me because it was a good reminder of like, no man, we're all on the shits right now. Like,
a lot of people tell me like, oh, but your dad has a criminal record, and it's like, yeah, he has a criminal record.
a lot of people have criminal records.
Criminal records.
But it's
Walking around free.
And it comes down to, as a community, I grew up with a dad who, no matter how sad he was, it was always like he suffered in silence.
My name's Ariane Betancourt. My father, Justo Betancourt, was detained by ICE 74 days ago. So I'm here to represent him and so many others that are in this situation.
And when your dad was detained by ICE, can you walk me through that process of how it happened?
He went to his reporting. He had to go to report with ICE once a year. They switched it to every few months. He went to report. They told him to stand in line for his next appointment. And then from that line, they took him onto a bus that took him to Alligator, Alcatraz for 24 days.
I know that you've been very involved and a huge advocate down there in Alligator, Alcatraz. Did that happen right away after your dad was taken into custody?
Yeah, so the day that he was detained, Maria Bilboa, who works for the American for Immigrants, she actually invited me out to the vigils and said, hey, I don't know if you're interested in joining, but they hold vigils every Sunday, and then you can connect with other families of detainees, and that could probably give you some insight on how you can support your dad.
Right. And how has that been since attending those vigils?
I go every week.
Right.
The only week that I miss is because I was sick, but I go every week. I make the time. I work full time, and I make the time to go every week. My father, he's diabetic. He has a lot of health concerns and health issues. So he's made friends there. When he actually collapsed about a month ago, I found out because another detainee was the one who informed me that my dad was taken to the hospital. Because ICE doesn't inform you, and he's not allowed to make calls when he's in the hospital. So I was able to know that he was in the hospital because another detainee contacted me. But I also have been helping other people who don't have access to contact their family members to let them know, hey, I'm detained. Or if they need to get their passports, or if they need to reach a family member for anything, I'm kind of working as the middleman.
What would you say to people within your community that are turning the other way or pretending that what's happening is not actually happening?
Just because you're not acknowledging it doesn't mean that it's not real. So it's time to kind of take a step back and assess the situation and the reality of the world around us and be on the right side of history. And I hope that maybe others seeing me stand up and just know, no, I'm not like a professional activist. This is not something that I went to school for or anything, but it's a cause that means something to me. So if all I can do is speak up and stand up and show out, why not? So if other people are watching it, I hope that I can inspire at least one person to come out every week. I'm doing my part for humanity.
Right. And how do you see your advocacy evolving? Are there other things that you want to do now that you've, embedded yourself within this activism?
Yeah, I want to do anything that I possibly can. Like now, I'm committed to not just my father's cause, but just the cause of so many. And at this point, it's whatever it takes. If I have to be there, I'm standing there. This is our right as Americans, this is what got us our freedoms in the first place. People coming out of their comfort zone and standing up for what they believe. So we can't lose sight of what makes America, America.
Well, thank you again. I really appreciate it.